Hi, in this video, we're going to be going over tips and tricks on how to make personalized chip bags like this one. I already have a short on my channel if you are like me and you're more of a visual person and you like to digest things in short time spans with no talking. Please check out that video. But what I realized was that when I was going through the process, there were some things that kept tripping me up. And I figured if I made a video to show how I'm addressing those things, it might be helpful to someone else that's going through the same thing. So just a disclaimer, I don't have any makeup on and I have major bags under my eyes because I'm running on like 2 or 3 hours of sleep because of the other party stuff that I've been working on. But number one, I figured people aren't here to see me. They're here for the tips and tricks. And number two, I saw this other content creator, Big Brando, who managed to shoot a video, edit a video, and post a video all within like 2 or 3 hours while still doing festival prep. So yeah, I figured the least that I could do is sit on my floor and do a quick video looking like crap. So here we go. First thing, I have already printed and taped up the paper, but I'll just go over it really quickly. I don't buy the templates anymore. I used to. I am really big on supporting Etsy sellers and whatnot, like people that make digital products, because I tend to be really lazy and most of the time I'm doing things in a rush and I don't have time to mock up a product. Even though for the most part you can figure it out yourself, but for this one it was so simple that I didn't buy the setup this time. So what I did was in Canva, that's not true, I think I did buy the Canva setup for this, I can't remember. So in Canva I did this middle part, this middle part, and then these two other sections over here. I want to say this is like 2.75 and 2.75. I am using 30-pound photo paper. Because it's 30 pounds, it's very thin, and that's exactly what you want for a chip bag. You don't want it to be super thick because then it's kind of harder to manipulate. On this side, I did a cute little birthday girl nutrition facts. And then for the barcode, there's a happy birthday barcode. You can Google all of these. On the other side, I put thanks for celebrating my birthday with me. And then in the middle is just a very simple description of what you want for the chip bags, first birthday, 50th anniversary, whatever it may be. For the tape that I use one called Sookwang. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but Sookwang. I bought it off Amazon. What I like about the tape is that it is incredibly strong, number one. Number two, it allows me to put the tape on without having it be sticky. You'll see why that's important in a second. But I put that thicker one on the back side. I make sure to put it close to the edge of one side. By putting it close to the edge, it gives you a more seamless pattern. It also means that you have to leave more white space on one side than you would on the other. So you want to be conscious of these things when you're doing your layout. Separate from that thicker front tape, I also put 2 thinner tapes on the back. Let's see if that will show up on camera. You'll notice that I have my stack right here. I tend to do them all at the same time. Batch processing is faster for me. It feels like it goes by faster. Maybe that's just my imagination. This is the important part for me, at least, because it bugs me when things are crooked. So you will pull the tape, align the top part so that it's about 3/4 of an inch, assuming that you put that 1/2 inch tape as close to the edge as you could. Push down about a thumb's length, align it at the bottom, and just kind of let gravity do its own thing. Stick your hand in, push it down, and seamless. That one's probably a little bit too close to there. Let's try another one. So we're gonna pull the tape 3/4 thumb's length to straighten it out. Align at the bottom. I'm so sorry, I don't know what this sound is gonna be like, but hopefully it's not too bad because it is the photo paper that's kind of like making that noise. Okay, let's see if we can get closer on this one. Align 3/4 of an inch. Put your thumb down, align it at the bottom, put your hand in the middle, and then push down. If you have a bubble like that, just push. I promise no one will notice. I mean, you'll notice if you're like me, but no one else that's not like us will notice. So it's fairly seamless. Let's try to do another one. I'm going to make it close. 3/4. Make sure it's straight up top. That's the important part. Push down about a thumb's length. This is really hard to do backwards, but align at the bottom, and then the rest should take care of itself. Before doing this on camera, I was not getting those bumps, so I have to assume that the bumps are coming from like my awkward stance and trying to do this on camera on my knees on the hardwood floor. I'm gonna try one down here by myself to prove that when you're not trying to do things backwards on camera, it's really not that hard. Pull the tape, align 3/4, thumb down, hold taut, is that how you say it? And then smooth out, and it's perfect. One of these, like 15, is gonna make it onto the video, I swear. Pull the tape, go about 3/4 of an inch, make sure it's straight at the top, that's the most important thing. Hold it down up to your thumb. The important part is to hold it tight from the top. I don't know how to explain this for guys, this might be hard to understand, but for girls, you know how when you're having difficulty zipping up a dress and you hold it tight from the top to like zip it up? That's exactly what you do with this. Try to hold it tight like this so that when you're lining it at the bottom, it's kind of straightening itself out, and then it'll have a seamless look. So the next thing that I encountered was I made the mistake of, before I used the tape that had paper over it, when I would get the chip bags, let me show you an example. I'm so sorry if this is making a lot of noise. So when I would get the chip bags and I would try to put them in, because the tape was right here, it was catching onto the chip bags and I would have to like keep untaping every time. So that's what I love about the Sukkwang tape, is that it has the tape over it, so it's not sticky until you're ready for actually sticking it together. So now we get into actually placing the chips into the bag. There are some tips and tricks for this part too. Number one, and I'm so sorry if this is gonna make a lot of noise, but you want to squish your bags so that they're as long as possible, not chunky, because you're gonna stick it in here. And then if you stick your hands in and pull, that also makes it easier for me. If I didn't have the Sukkwang tape that had the paper on top that was covering the stickiness, if I just had regular double-sided tape, it would have gotten caught. That's what I found before I started using this tape. All you have to do once the chip bag is in is unpeel. So satisfying. Unpeel. Make sure that before you do this next part, you're lining up where your fold is so that it's right in the middle. So for example, if I had put my chip in and it was like this, then once I fold and tape this up, there's no going back. And I'm gonna be showing my back nutrition parts as if it was part of the front, and that's not what I want. So just make sure that you are twisting it to have it aligned. I will make sure that it's aligned, and then I start holding it taut. I think that's the trick for most parts of this process. And then squeezing where the tape is, taking the tape off, aligning it, squeezing, and you're done. Well, you're done with that part. You'll notice that it kind of got stuck right there. It's incredibly easy to just pull off. That's the other part that I love about the Sukkwang tape. I promise this is not an advertisement for them. They have no idea who I am. I actually don't know if they're like the actual seller on Amazon. I'm gonna go on a tangent, so let's stay focused, Christy. Hijo de tu madre. Let's try to do this a little bit closer. So, see, this is kind of weird where I'm just showing my boobs. So tip number one is to squeeze the bag so that it's thin. Tip number two is to make sure that you are aligning your chip bag correctly and not having it be with the back part in the front. So try to align the front part. Tip number three is to stick your hand in and pull. Tip number four is to use the Sukkwang tape, because if I had put the chip in with the double-sided tape exposed, it would have been getting caught right there. The Sukkwang tape, however, has paper on top of the sticky part, so until you're ready to peel, it won't stick to anything. You see it gets caught right there because part of it is in the back, but the beauty of this tape and this paper is that it's so thin that you could just pull it off and it's perfect. So then again, have it lined up in the front as much as you can. Make sure that you are lining up the two top parts, and then squeeze where the tape is. Then you do the same thing for the bottom part. If the chip is all the way at the bottom, squeeze it in. You want the tape part to not have anything obstructing it. Now that you're ready to pull the tape, go ahead and pull it off. When it gets caught right here, because some of it is in between, just yank it off. Line up your paper to where the tape is. And there you go. In my opinion, this alone looks good already, but there are 2 finishing touches that will make it look really, really great. Let me show you. Actually, 3 finishing touches. The first is this paper crimper, I think is what it's called. So all you have to do is stick this in, twist, do the same thing for the top. And it has this wonderful, like, genuine chip bag look. But then to elevate it even more, you can use these pinking shears. They're like $9 at any craft store. These are the Singer 9-inch ones. And then you can cut. And then you have these super cute chip looking bags. So all you have to do is stick in the chip bag. Again, with the pinking shears, all you have to do is get it close to the bottom. Oh, I forgot to mention, these 2 tapes on these edges, you'll want to make sure that they're not close to the edge. They're about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch down, because when you do the pinking shears, you're cutting off the bottom part. So this is why I said that you want to make sure that the thin tape on the inside is about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch up, because the bottom section of the paper you're going to be cutting off. So if you put your tape down here, there won't be anything holding it up. And that is your super cute chip bag. And the last thing that I like to do is I created these really cute little labels. So I've done these chip bags in the past and they were a really big hit at parties. But personally for me, I hated that whenever I would get a chip bag, I wouldn't be able to know what kind of chips I was getting. It was just kind of a surprise, which is good, right? Because that's the whole point. It's the personalization that matters, but also you don't want these chips to go to waste if people keep getting the ones that they don't like. So all I did was I copied the image, put a bunch onto an 8.5 by 11, put it onto sticker paper, cut it, and they're super easy to cut. You could use the pinking shears. I use some specialty scissors that are like postage stamp, some old, or you just cut them just straight across. It'll still look cute. I just put them on the back. I try to line it up to remember that I have OCD and it'll bug me. Like this one came out kind of crooked, so I'm for sure gonna do another one. But yeah, this way people will see what kind of chips they're getting before they get them, and you know, they won't have people putting them back if they didn't like the actual chip. So that's it. Those are the basics of making these personalized chip bags. Hopefully the video was helpful to you. I think I covered everything that I encountered that was an issue for me, but if you have any issues or you have any additional tips and tricks, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll try to respond to anything that I can. Hope you guys have a great weekend.